Introvert, Extrovert, or Ambivert, by Carl Jung. Published by Books Reader. Carl Jung's exploration into human personality started at the beginning of the 1900s while working as a psychiatrist. By observing and treating patients for many hours, he realized there were clear patterns in the way individuals perceived and dealt with the world. This led him to his theory of psychological types, which is now the basis of contemporary personality psychology. Jung felt that human action was not random, but had certain patterns according to the way individuals naturally like to employ their minds. Jung found that individuals have a tendency to put their energy either outwards toward the outer world or inwards towards their feelings and thoughts. This core variation laid the groundwork for what we today term as extraversion and introversion. Lesson 1: Jung's Psychological Types, the cornerstone of personality theory. The formation of Jung's theory was not purely a product of clinical observations. His personal experiences, which included a season of rigorous self-exploration, influenced how he conceptualized personality differences. He understood these differences were not defects or problems to be repaired, but inevitable variations in the psychology of humankind that brought their own issues and assets. Jung's ideas were revolutionary at the time. Rather than attempting to squeeze everyone into one model of normal behavior, he understood that various personality types were just as valid and worth their place. He realized that some individuals burst forth in crowds, while others were strong alone. Some trusted immediate experience, whereas others trusted more in abstract possibility and concepts. His theory did not reduce to mere categories. Jung specified particular mental functions which individuals employ in order to deal with information and make decisions. He explained how the functions function differently depending upon whether an individual is mostly introverted or extroverted. This rich system accounts for why two introverts or two extroverts may be significantly different from one another. Jung's legacy continues to affect psychology today. His theories have been adapted and expanded upon into numerous personality testing instruments, such as the popular Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. Companies utilize these findings for team building and leadership training. Schools utilize them to teach various learning styles. Therapists utilize them to help their clients more effectively. Jung's theory teaches us that our personality preferences are not merely a matter of being social or shy. They indicate deeper patterns in the way we think, feel, and perceive the world. These patterns influence everything from what we do at work to how we interact with others and deal with stress. The beauty of Jung's theory is that it respects individual differences. He did not feel that any type was superior to another. Rather, he viewed each type as having special gifts and pitfalls. Knowledge of these distinctions allows us to better understand our own nature as well as others, which in turn results in healthier relationships and self-improvement. As we learn about personality types, keep in mind that Jung's work gives us a map, not a prison. Although knowledge of our type can be highly beneficial, we're all capable of growing beyond our natural tendencies. This journey of self-discovery begins by understanding the fundamentals that Jung discovered regarding the workings of our minds and our interaction with the world at large. Lesson 2: Introversion vs. Extroversion. Introversion and extroversion are misunderstood to be simply social or antisocial. These dimensions of personality exist much deeper than our socialization. Introversion and extroversion at their essence tell us about how we interact with the world and where we get our energy from. Introverts focus their energy and attention internally, drawing strength and renewal from their internal world of thoughts, feelings, and ideas. They deeply process information and like to think before they speak. This inward focus requires that they frequently have time alone to themselves to replenish their energy after being with people. An introvert may love being around friends, but will feel depleted afterward and need time alone to regain their energy. Conversely, extroverts focus their energy outwards towards individuals and activities within their surroundings. They derive energy from social interaction and external stimulation. Extroverts think on their feet and process information by discussion with others. They become energized after time spent with others and may feel restless or disengaged if alone for a long period of time. These tendencies manifest themselves in many areas of life aside from social. At work, introverts tend to prefer focused, independent work and may do poorly with open office space and constant meetings. Extroverts tend to do well in team-based settings and could even look for ways to brainstorm with team members. In learning settings, introverts typically prefer reading and independent study, whereas extroverts may learn more in group discussions and hands-on activity. On activities, these differences also influence the way individuals respond to conflict and emotional processing. Introverts will typically require time alone to process their emotions and may withdraw when they are upset. Extroverts will tend to work through emotions by discussing them with others and may turn to social support in their times of need. Neither method is superior. They're just different methods of dealing with the problems of life. Observe that these tendencies occur on a scale, and individuals tend to be neither exclusively introverted nor exclusively extroverted. A person may be introverted in certain situations and extroverted in others. For instance, a person may be social at the workplace but enjoy quiet nights at home, or be introverted in groups but extroverted in close, cozy environments. Realizing these deeper elements of introversion and extroversion can aid us in a greater appreciation of our inherent tendencies and those of the people around us. Instead of attempting to change these fundamental characteristics, we can learn to function with them efficiently. An introvert is not necessarily required to become more extroverted in order to succeed, nor does an extrovert have to damper their outgoing personality in order to be considerate. These tendencies represent deep-seated differences in the way individuals interact with the world, interpret information, and regulate their energy. By understanding and honoring these differences, we can build environments and relationships that enable both introverts and extroverts to flourish in their own styles. The secret is realizing that these characteristics extend far beyond mere social preference and influence many facets of the way we experience and interact with the world around us. Lesson 3: Energy Economy, Introverts and Extroverts and How They Take in Stimulation. Our brains operate like batteries which must be frequently recharged and managed in how we use our power. The manner in which we take in and react to stimulation is considerably different between the introvert and extrovert, forming specific energy patterns in each. The energy economy is what dictates the way we go about the world and take care of our heads. Introverts usually begin their day with a full energy reserve, but over time, outside stimulation gradually drains this. Noisy offices, parties, and heated discussions drain their energy quicker than quiet, concentrated work. Introverts feel overwhelmed when exposed to too much stimulation and need to withdraw to a peaceful place to recharge. This is the reason why introverts prefer to work alone, break between social activities, and spend quiet moments reading or engaging in solo hobbies. Extroverts start with lower energy levels that build up through external activity. They thrive in social situations and derive energy from talking, group activities, and environmental stimuli. An extrovert may get energized following a party or team meeting, whereas sitting for long periods by themselves can drain and make them restless. They tend to find social interaction and external activities in order to sustain their best energy levels. Brain chemistry behind these differences includes the neurotransmitter dopamine and how our nervous systems react to it. Introverts are more sensitive to dopamine and need less stimulation from the outside world to achieve their optimal level of arousal. Extroverts require higher levels of dopamine to be energized, which they receive through activity in the world and with other individuals. Knowing your energy pattern enables the creation of strong plans for managing daily life. An introvert may plan critical meetings first thing in the morning when they are most energized, while an extrovert may start tackling difficult independent work after an energizing group discussion. Both learn from being aware of their individual energy requirements and making plans around it. The work environment poses unique challenges to handling energy levels. Open office space can exhaust introverts easily, and isolated working can disengage extroverts. Designing a harmonious environment that contains quiet zones and group working zones keeps both types energized during the course of the day. Minor variations such as headphones, short walking periods, or even short social engagements can moderate the level of stimulation. Patterns of sleep and rest also vary across the types. Introverts usually require additional continuous time away from people in order to sort through their experience and replenish their energy. Extroverts may want more frequent, shorter breaks with some interaction. Both should honor their natural cycles instead of trying to conform to others' habits. The secret to energy management is embracing and cooperating with your natural inclinations instead of going against them. Knowing how you metabolize stimulation, you can set up environments and habits that will sustain ideal levels of energy during your day. This perception enables you to be more productive, have healthier relationships, and be more well-rounded overall, independent of your personality type. Lesson 4, Ambivergent. Most individuals believe personality types exist in a black and white world. You're either an introvert or an extrovert. But human nature is more than that. Between those two extremes there's ambiversion, a middle ground between both introverted and extroverted personalities. Ambiverts are highly adaptable, capable of adjusting their behavior and energy to suit the situation. They have a unique capacity to relate to both introverts and extroverts, making them versatile in social settings. An ambivert might enjoy the excitement of a Friday night party, yet feel just as satisfied spending Saturday quietly with a book. This flexibility enables them to build connections with a wide range of people and flourish in diverse environments. They are able to listen effectively as introverts and express themselves forcefully as extroverts, taking the right style according to each circumstance. The defining feature of ambiversion is balance. Ambiverts are energized by both socializing and being alone, but they must carefully balance these to ensure their own well-being. They may be revitalized by a morning meeting, but need to have quiet time in the afternoon to refuel. This internal ebb and flow allows them to keep even energy levels throughout the day. Being an ambivert is not without its challenges, however. They may be unable to know their genuine preferences since their needs can differ greatly from one day to another. On some days, they may be inclined either way, not knowing whether they should take a social invitation or stay at home. Such uncertainty may make it difficult for them to create stable patterns or describe their needs to other people. Ambiverts tend to be natural group mediators, filling the gap between introverts and extroverts. Their capacity to view both sides of an argument makes them great problem solvers and team players. At work, they can shift between roles, taking charge when needed but also backing off to let others shine. Anyone can develop ambivert qualities, regardless of their natural inclination. Introverts can learn to be more at ease in social interactions, and extroverts can develop a greater appreciation for solitude and introspection. This is not about changing who you are but about increasing the range of your comfort zone and action repertoire. The ambiversion path reminds us that personality is not rigid or bound to extremes. It demonstrates that we can be flexible without sacrificing who we are. Appreciating ambiversion reminds us of the nuance of human personality and discourages us from relying on those oversimplified adjectives we normally apply to ourselves and others. Discovering and embracing our ambivert natures brings forth new opportunities for personal development and relationships with other people. It encourages us to transcend fixed definitions of ourselves and appreciate the fluidity of our nature. This middle ground provides a more realistic and balanced perspective on human nature, recognizing that most of us have a degree of both introversion and extroversion within us. Lesson 5, the 4 cognitive functions of thinking, feeling, sensing, intuition. Carl Jung defined 4 fundamental cognitive functions that determine how we perceive and engage the world. They are the inherent ways our minds evaluate information and make choices. Knowing these functions allows us to see our natural strengths and tendencies and also areas where we will need to develop. The first of these functions, thinking, is based on logical analysis and objective decision-making. Individuals with a preference for the thinking function are inclined to view facts and figures, pursuing truth in the form of reason and consistency. They are usually good at solving intricate problems, evaluating situations step by step, and deciding in accordance with clear principles. A thinking preference manifests itself in the manner in which an individual invariably thinks about cause and effect, balancing advantages and disadvantages, and prioritizing accuracy beyond everything else. The feeling function, in contrast, processes information through personal and social values. Those who prefer feeling tend to consider how decisions affect people and relationships. They intuitively know about feelings, their own and others, and tend to make decisions based on what intuitively feels right or right for harmony. This function assists individuals in establishing solid relationships, empathizing with people, and developing nurturing environments. Sensing is the function that is concerned with tangible reality here and now. Individuals who use sensing notice concrete details and realistic things. They believe in concrete experience and tend to have good recall for certain specifics and occurrences. Sensing types are realistic, detail-oriented, and concerned with what's happening in the moment. They are good at working with concrete problems and actual world situations. The fourth function, intuition, is concerned with patterns, possibilities, and potential for the future. Intuition preference people tend to notice connections between unrelated things and like to think about what might be. They typically trust their intuition and seek deeper meaning in superficial appearances. Intuitive types are best at innovation, strategic thinking, and seeing new ways to do things. These four functions interact in varying combinations, each individual having a stronger preference for some functions compared to others. Everyone utilizes all four functions to some extent, but they find them more comfortable and natural when using their favorites. The manner in which these functions interact with each other defines our individual cognitive style and affects how we learn, work, and interact with others. Our dominant function is akin to our go-to tool, the one we instinctively turn to and wield most competently. Our secondary or auxiliary function complements and corrects our dominant one, whereas our inferior functions take more effort and attention to wield efficiently. Recognizing these functions provides insight into why we may find some tasks energizing and others draining, or why we may struggle with individuals who process information in a different manner than we do. The best part of Jung's cognitive functions is that they are dynamic. Although we each have natural tendencies, we can become more skilled with our lesser preferred functions through practice. This expansion enables us to become more well-rounded and flexible, better suited to meet life's diverse challenges and opportunities. Lesson 6, Discovering Your Dominant Function. The center of your personality, our dominant function influences how we perceive and engage with the world around us. It's the major lens by which we interpret information and make choices. Your default operating system, as it were. How your mind operates naturally when you're most at ease and yourself, the dominant function becomes apparent early in life, typically early in childhood. For introverts, this function works largely in their inner world of thoughts and ideas. Extroverts, however, manifest their dominant function in the outer world of people and experience. This underlying piece of personality drives everything from career to relationship patterns and problem-solving styles. You can discover your dominant function by looking at your natural reactions and inclinations. If you're attracted to breaking down situations into logical parts and like making decisions based on objective standards, your leading function could be thinking. Individuals who tend to think about how decisions impact others and prioritize harmony may have feeling as their leading function. Individuals who concentrate on tangible facts and rely on their direct experiences probably have sensing as their leading function, and individuals who seek patterns and possibilities may have intuition as their leading function. How you respond when stressed also identifies your lead function. When stressed, we use the most advanced intellectual process we have most. A person with dominant thinking would become more analytical and removed under stress, whereas one with dominant feeling would become more interested in holding on to relationships and emotional equilibrium. Your dominant function also affects your study habits and occupation requirements. Dominant sensing persons usually like instruction step by step and hands-on. On study experiences. Dominant intuition people usually like theoretical debates and probing many possibilities. Thought types may enjoy independent work with the opportunity for logical analysis, while feeling types usually do well in group settings where they have a chance to take multiple perspectives into consideration. Knowing your strongest function can assist you in making optimal life decisions. It can help you find occupations and activities that come more naturally to your mental style. For instance, an individual with dominant thinking may be good at analytical work, while an individual with dominant feeling may be good at helping professions. Keep in mind that your dominant function is not merely about what you can do, it's about what you like to do. Although you may be able to work well with other functions, your dominant function comes most naturally and takes the least amount of conscious effort. This realization can assist you in building your life in a way that enables your intrinsic strengths to surface and provides room for the other sides of your personality to grow. Your dominant function is the skipper of your psychological vessel, navigating your life's course. By understanding and operating with this central part of yourself, you will have the ability to make decisions that feel more real and result in increased personal fulfillment. This self-awareness is then a highly effective tool for personal development and growth, enabling you to ride through challenges and opportunities in a way that is authentic to your natural inclinations. Lesson 7: The Auxiliary Function, Your Backup Mental Process. The auxiliary function is an essential supporting actor in our personality, complementing our leading function to produce a more balanced psychological style of living. This auxiliary mental process assists us in adapting to new situations and serves as a stabilizer when our leading function may not be the optimal instrument for the task. Consider the auxiliary function like your loyal sidekick. It's not the leading performer, but it is a critical component of your psychological makeup. Although your leading function may be introverted thinking, your auxiliary function may be extroverted sensing, keeping you grounded in the physical world about you. This pairing makes for a better balanced personality capable of coping with life's diverse challenges. The establishment of the auxiliary function usually starts during our adolescence and continues into young adulthood. This develops naturally as we face situations when our leading function by itself isn't sufficient. Take the introverted intuitive, for instance. He or she will develop their extroverted feeling auxiliary function once they need to relate to others more when socializing. Your auxiliary function usually functions in the opposite attitude to your dominant function. Your dominant function is introverted if your auxiliary function will be extroverted, and vice versa. This opposition is a natural equilibrium within your personality that enables you to effectively function both in your inner and outer world. Having this auxiliary function is like possessing a bridge from your main processing mechanism to the contrasting point of view. This auxiliary function comes in handy at times of stress or encountering something unfamiliar. Whenever your dominant function gets overwhelmed or doesn't match what needs to be done, your auxiliary function fills the gap. And your auxiliary function comes in and offers support and the opposite approach. For example, a person whose dominant is feeling may use their auxiliary thinking function when they have to make a rational decision that means putting feelings aside. Knowing and growing your auxiliary function is important for personal development. It makes you more flexible and able to deal with varying situations more easily. You can develop your auxiliary function through mindful practice and by placing yourself in situations where you must utilize it. This could involve challenging yourself a little beyond your comfort level. But the payoff is worth the effort. The interaction between your dominant and auxiliary functions must be cooperative, not competitive. Your auxiliary function should not attempt to usurp the dominant position, as that can create psychological stress and inner turmoil. Rather, it should augment and enhance your dominant function, forming a harmonious partnership that benefits your total psychological functioning. Utilizing your auxiliary function also allows you to gain a more sophisticated knowledge of yourself and other people. It gives you other views and methods that can enhance your life experience and your relationships. By recognizing and fostering this supportive mental process, you provide more room for personal growth and achievement in different aspects of your life. Lesson 8: Your Shadow Type, the Unconscious Opposite. Each individual has within him or her an unconscious part of his or her personality referred to as the shadow type. This shadow is the aspects of ourselves that we prefer to reject, deny, or exclude from our conscious awareness. In Jungian psychology, our shadow form is frequently the opposite of our conscious personality form, which creates an inner tension that affects our behavior in subtle but compelling ways. When we identify strongly as an introvert, our shadow carries extroverted tendencies that we may express in unexpected moments. For example, a typically reserved person might suddenly become the life of the party after a few drinks, or a quiet professional might transform into an energetic performer when given the chance. These moments reveal our shadow breaking through our usual personality patterns. The shadow form is not inherently bad, although we usually see it in that light. It holds great qualities and hidden strengths that we've set aside for our more convenient characteristics. The shadow of an extrovert may be full of inner wisdom and thoughtful consideration, the shadow of an introvert leadership skills and sociability. If we accept and work with our shadow, we can tap these latent resources and become more integrated beings. Our unconscious opposite shows up in our dreams as well, where we may behave totally differently from how we are in the daytime. A normally practical and methodical person may dream of crazy adventures, and a free-spirited person may dream of establishing flawless order. These dreams give us a peek into our shadow's nature and the qualities we have ignored in our conscious lives. Dealing with our shadow type takes courage and honesty. The first step is to become aware of when our shadow surfaces, those times when we behave in ways that feel uncharacteristic or unsettling. Rather than suppressing these moments, we can choose to observe them with openness and curiosity. What message might the shadow be offering about our unmet needs or hidden potential? Integrating the shadow doesn't mean transforming into someone entirely different. Instead, it's about allowing both our core personality and shadow aspects to coexist in a more balanced, authentic way. An introvert may become proficient at calling forth their extroverted shadow as necessary without relinquishing their need for privacy. An extrovert may work on developing their ability for reflection in solitude alongside their intrinsic tendency to face outwards. Shadow work commonly introduces resistance and distress. We may feel open and vulnerable in venturing into these repressed sides of us. Yet, such work leads us to a larger psychological completeness and authenticity. By recognizing our shadow type, we minimize its potential to surface in unforeseen or disturbing modes, and we gain exposure to a richer vocabulary of human experience. Becoming aware of and cooperating with our shadow type is a vital aspect of personal development. The more we are conscious of our unconscious opposite, the more we can feel compassion for ourselves and others. This awareness benefits us in moving through relationships in a more adept manner and encountering life's obstacles with a more complete set of tools and ideas. The shadow contains keys to our unrealized potential, biding their time until they can be found and integrated into the conscious personality. Lesson 9, Introvert Strengths, the Strength of Inner Focus. Introverts have special advantages that can guide them to intense personal fulfillment and professional achievement. Introverts have an inherent capacity to dive deep into their ideas and thoughts, generating fertile landscapes internally that spark creativity and innovation. This internal concentration enables them to thoroughly process information and come to well-reasoned, out conclusions. Perhaps one of the most valuable things introverts contribute is their ability to do deep, quality work. They thrive in settings where they can focus without being interrupted, and thus they are best suited for jobs that demand meticulous analysis, research, or innovative problem-solving. Their independence and ability to focus for long periods of time often lead to high-quality work and creative solutions. Introverts also have great listening skills. While others may be quick to talk, introverts tend to naturally listen and take in information from their environment. This trait renders them great counselors, writers, researchers, and leaders who are able to comprehend and respond effectively to the needs of others. Their nature to reflect before acting results in wiser and more effective inputs during conversations. The introvert's desire for significant relationships over casual social contacts develops solid, enduring relationships. They tend to bond deeply with a few individuals over a long time instead of keeping many superficial contacts. This manner of relating helps them build sincere comprehension and confidence with others, thus becoming trusted friends and worthy coworkers. As employees, introverts bring a peaceful and consistent presence to help stabilize more intense workspaces. Their meticulous thinking about concepts and circumstances assists in avoiding snap judgments and helping every aspect be evaluated. Introverts can excel in leadership positions, where their reflective style and listening ability contribute to an open and productive environment. Written and online communication is also easy for introverts, who need time to refine their thoughts before sharing them. This talent is more important in today's world, where written communication by email, messaging, and social media is a significant part of personal as well as professional life. Introverts' desire for aloneness and contemplation also lends them powerful self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Consistent time spent in contemplation serves to allow them to know their own thoughts and emotions well, thus better handling emotional circumstances and giving wise advice to others. Their innate nature of deliberate observation also renders introverts particularly good at perceiving fine details and trends that others would not notice. This sensitivity to detail, coupled with their meticulous processing style, allows them to notice connections and solutions that others may not see at first glance. Introverts tend to thrive in imaginative pursuits, wherein their rich interior world and depth capacity enable them to create new and significant contributions, whether they're artists, writers, composers, or they find other media to express themselves. Their processing style within means they can be original and affecting creative workers. The potential is maximized through embracing them for what they are, in lieu of expecting extroverting. When introverts identify and appreciate their natural inclinations, they are able to set up environments and select avenues in which their specific talents can be developed. Lesson 10: Extrovert Strengths, the Blessing of Outer Interaction. Extroverts have special strengths which enable them naturally to excel in interacting with the outer world. Their capacity for deriving energy from social interactions and outer experiences gives them numerous benefits in both professional and personal circles. These individuals excel in changing situations where they are able to engage with others and take an active role in their environments. Among the most significant strengths of extroversion is the innate capacity to form and sustain social relationships. Extroverts tend to find it simple to converse with strangers, network professionally, and form enduring relationships. This social ease is derived from their true love of people interaction and the capacity to think and process information simultaneously while communicating. They are masters of talking and commonly become effective speakers, negotiators, or managers. At work, extroverts excel when there is an ongoing need for talking with people. Their enthusiasm and energy can inspire employees, catalyze imagination, and propel projects forward. They thrive during brainstorming sessions where they can exchange ideas freely, and their fast thinking enables them to react well in high-speed settings. Extroverts succeed as salespeople, marketers, educators, or managers where their interpersonal skills are a direct cause of their success. The extrovert's action orientation and exposure to the outside world also offer valuable advantages. They usually plunge into new situations with eagerness and learn by direct experience instead of cautious observation. This experiential style of learning tends to result in quicker skill acquisition in functional areas and a higher propensity to take calculated risks. Extroverts tend to be at ease with trial and error, seeing errors as useful learning experiences instead of mistakes to be avoided. Yet another benefit of extroversion is the capacity for processing feelings and thoughts by means of talking. Whereas introverts may require alone time in order to reflect, extroverts tend to gain insight by way of dialogue with others. Such an external approach to processing may result in more cooperative problem solving and enhanced team communication. It also aids extroverts in forming effective support groups because they share their experiences and emotions naturally with other people. Extroverts are also extremely flexible in social settings. They can adapt their communication style to suit various audiences and are typically adept at picking up on social signals. Their flexibility makes them ideal mediators and team players, helping to fill gaps between various personality types and working styles. The extrovert's innate optimism and enthusiasm are infectious, bringing joy to the people around them. They often infuse group settings with enthusiasm, contributing to lively and engaging environments. This trait makes them especially effective in roles that require boosting morale and sustaining motivation, such as team leadership or customer-facing positions. Recognizing these extroverted strengths enables individuals to capitalize on their natural abilities while also staying mindful of areas where personal growth may be needed. For extroverts, this awareness can lead to greater balance and effectiveness in both professional and personal interactions. Knowing these gifts can assist them in selecting career options and lifestyle options that fit their natural tendencies. It also assists them in valuing their individual contributions to relationships, workplaces, and communities. Lesson 11: Ambivert Flexibility. Walking between worlds. Ambiverts have an extraordinary ability to walk between the introverted and extroverted worlds with ease. Their special flexibility enables them to modify their behavior and energy management according to the given situation they encounter. In contrast to pure introverts or extroverts, ambiverts can borrow from both sets of characteristics, thus being extremely versatile in social and professional environments. The secret of ambiverts' success is their ability to sense and interact with various atmospheres in their own way. They may adopt a more extrovert, communicative mode during a collaborative meeting at work and shift into a less communicative, internal mode while independently tackling an intricate task. That is not coerced or habitual but follows organically from the innate knowledge they have about the moment to assert themselves and withdraw. Ambiverts tend to thrive in careers where there is a mix of social interaction and individual work. They are natural mediators because they can empathize with and relate to both introverts and extroverts. In sales roles, they merge the listening abilities of introverts with extroverts' presentation-driven positive energy. Such balanced presentations enable them to engage with a broader spectrum of customers and coworkers. Ambiverts' versatility also applies to their energy handling. They are able to relish both group events and single activities, having an intuition for when they require each type of experience in order to sustain their wellness. An ambivert may spend the morning working peacefully alone, engage in a reviving lunch session with coworkers, then fall back into intense individual work during the afternoon. This innate flux keeps them in prime energy mode all day. But this adaptability can sometimes make them uncertain about their real nature. Ambiverts wonder why they are attracted to various activities at various times. The thing is to realize that this inconsistency is natural and healthy for their personality type. Accepting this dynamic personality instead of conforming to a rigid introvert or extrovert personality enables ambiverts to flourish. Building good self-awareness enables ambiverts to fully leverage their adaptive nature. Tending to notice their energy and emotional reactions under various circumstances helps them make healthier decisions about how and when to engage and pull back. They become aware of the signals that tell them that they require additional social contact or additional solitude. And they respect these requirements without judgment. Practical tips for ambiverts are to have a balanced routine that involves social and alone time, being truthful with others regarding their ambivalence, and allowing themselves to switch between various modes of interaction depending on the situation. They may go to a party, but depart early, or work in a coffee shop where they can have both human interaction and solo concentration. Ambiverts' capacity to empathize with and understand introverts and extroverts alike enables them to be great team players and friends. They tend to act as a middle link between the two personality types, bridging the gap and bringing about greater understanding and communication. Such inherent capacity to look beyond and appreciate the perspectives of others makes their relationships richer and their success personal as well as professional. Lesson 12: Type Development Across Life Stages. Our personality type develops over the course of our life, influenced by experience, relationships, and self-development. The process starts early in childhood when our natural inclinations first manifest. Young children express their inborn preference for introversion or extroversion through play habits and social behaviors. Some children naturally gravitate toward quiet areas with books or solo activities, while others tend toward group games and ongoing social interaction. When kids are in school, they begin to shape up their intellectual powers. An early introverted youngster may be able to exhibit excessive thinking and conscientious watching, whereas a born leader, i.e., the extrovert child, would exhibit leadership talents and sociability. Such earlier tendencies are building blocks for personality growth in future. Even as they remain modifiable by relatives, schooling, and environment, adolescence is also the decisive juncture where type building evolves. Teenagers start to venture into their secondary functions, lending complexity and balance to their character. A shy teenager may find themselves venturing out of their comfort zone and learning social skills, while a social teen may learn the importance of self-reflection and independent thought. This time of life is usually filled with difficulties as people struggle between their natural inclinations and societal demands. Early adulthood brings new contexts for type development in college, career decisions, and interpersonal relationships. Most individuals are placed in situations that confront their natural tendencies, which helps them grow and adapt. An introvert may become successful as a public speaker, while an extrovert may learn to listen better. These experiences assist in shaping the tertiary function, introducing another dimension of people gain confidence in their type while embracing and fostering their less preferred aspects. Career growth may necessitate new abilities that have no similarity to natural inclinations, forcing further development. Parents can be seen adjusting their style to gain a better connection with children with different personality types. During mature adulthood, most individuals undergo what Jung referred to as individuation, becoming more whole and balanced. The inferior function starts to emerge more completely, enabling more flexibility in coping with life's problems. Older adults tend to become more at ease in both solitude and social interaction, be it independent or interdependent. At all stages of life, type development is not always fluid or continuous. Life crises, obstacles, and interpersonal conflicts can speed up or reverse temporarily. Some individuals may have their expressed preferences change profoundly but retain the core type. For others, they may find aspects of the self that were submerged or underdeveloped. Recognizing these patterns of development reminds us that personality type is not static, but a dynamic part of human development. Every phase of life offers the potential for growth in our abilities while remaining faithful to our fundamental preferences. This awareness enables us to pursue personal growth with patience and self-acceptance, knowing that our type development journey goes on throughout our lives. Lesson 13: Relationships between types. Complementary or opposing, how various personality types interact can create harmony or tension in relationships. When two individuals of different types enter a relationship, they introduce their own point of view, pattern of energy, and communication style. These differences can be fruitful, complementary, and rewarding or tricky conflicts to overcome through work and understanding. Introverts and extroverts tend to be drawn to one another because each has qualities the other values. An extrovert may value an introvert's reflective nature and depth of understanding, while an introvert may value an extrovert's ease in social situations. This attraction of opposites can lead to a balanced relationship in which each partner's strengths enhance the other's development. However, these differences can easily lead to misunderstandings if they aren't acknowledged and respected. For instance, after a demanding day at work, an extrovert may feel the need to talk things out with their partner, while an introvert might crave solitude to recharge. Without mutual understanding, the extrovert may feel dismissed, and the introvert may feel emotionally drained. The key to navigating such dynamics lies in open communication and honoring each other's natural preferences. Ambiverts often serve as effective bridges between introverts and extroverts, as they can empathize with and adapt to both perspectives. Their adaptability enables them to modify their communication style and energy level to suit their partner's requirements. But ambiverts can sometimes have a hard time with partners who are strongly inclined towards either introversion or extroversion because their flexibility could be mistaken for inconsistency. The success of any relationship hinges greatly on how well each individual knows and accepts the other's type. This begins with the realization that no type is superior to another. They're just different ways of being in and engaging with the world. When couples take the effort to understand each other's types, they can work out strategies to fulfill each other's needs and preferences. Useful strategies for type. Varied relationships involve setting specific times and places for social interaction and alone time, setting clear communication patterns and honoring each other's natural energy cycles. For example, an introvert-extrovert couple may decide that Saturday evenings are spent out with people, while Sunday afternoons are spent relaxing at home. Knowing differences in types is also useful in business relationships. At work, having a sense of how various types like to communicate and get things done can mean smoother working together and less conflict. A leader who is aware of type dynamics can more effectively delegate tasks and develop work settings that enable all types to succeed. The mission isn't to modify anyone's natural type, but to develop understanding and acceptance that enables relationships to survive despite or even because of these distinctions. If individuals work with and support their type differences instead of against them, they are able to form stronger, healthier relationships with the advantage of each individual's distinct view and ability. Lesson 14: Society's Bias. Shattering Type Stereotypes. Our culture has developed deeply ingrained assumptions regarding personality types that influence the way we perceive and treat others. These assumptions tend to favor extroverted characteristics while devaluing or dismissing introverted ones. Children are taught from a young age that it is acceptable to be outgoing, social, and chatty, but quiet, reflective, and reserved is somehow unacceptable. These assumptions are evident in our school system. Instructors frequently grade participation in class very heavily and require students to work in groups, placing introverted students at a disadvantage. Comments such as needs to speak up more or should participate more in class discussions are regularly noted on report cards of highly competent introverted students. This unnecessarily places pressure and stress on children who internally process information. The workplace is also full of these kinds of challenges. Most organizations organize their environments according to extroverted tendencies with open office layouts, team-building exercises, and brainstorming sessions that can exhaust introverted workers. Job postings frequently identify outgoing personality or team player as qualifications, implying that introverted personalities are somehow less desirable. The choice for promotion might go to those who are more talkative and visible, neglecting the essential contributions of more introverted team members. Cultural norms also contribute significantly to these prejudices. Western cultures especially are prone to applauding extroverted behaviors while regarding introverted actions with suspicion or alarm. Social media have further exacerbated this pressure, developing a culture in which continual sharing and public engagement appear to be necessary for social and professional success. Overcoming these stereotypes involves becoming aware and making changes at both personal and institutional levels. At the personal level, it involves understanding and embracing their natural tendencies without apology or shame. Introverts don't have to pretend to become extroverts in order to succeed, nor should extroverts try to curb their natural zeal. Both types have strengths to offer. They are able to craft more inclusive climates by recognizing and accommodating various types of personalities. This could entail offering quiet zones for concentrated working, giving allowance for personal introspection prior to group discussion, and acknowledging kinds of contribution outside of verbal means. Performance appraisal should take working styles into consideration and assess resultant outputs instead of personality. Parents and teachers can assist by recognizing and facilitating children's natural tendencies while learning to be effective in various contexts. This is not a matter of pushing introverted children to be more extroverted or requiring extroverted children to be silent, but assisting each child in realizing their strengths and developing required coping mechanisms. The secret to transcending social bias is in understanding that personality differences are a natural variation in human beings and not something that needs to be fixed. We require all sorts of personalities in order to make a balanced and effective society. When we look beyond stereotypes and value the different contributions of every personality type, we build more cohesive communities and better organizations. This change of heart is good for everyone, enabling each individual to work and live according to their natural inclinations while still fulfilling the needs of contemporary society. Lesson 15: Individuation. Moving beyond type to be yourself. The path of individuation is the pinnacle achievement in personal growth, being your truest self. Though learning about your personality type is insightful, real growth comes from breaking out of these classifications to celebrate your individuality. Individuation is accepting and integrating all of yourself, including those parts that may feel contradictory or even uncomfortable. Jung thought that every individual has the ability to attain individuation, but it involves making a conscious effort and being willing to confront our shadow sides. This is done by acknowledging your personality type preferences but understanding that you are not bound by them. An introvert may be able to learn to be confident in social interactions, and an extrovert may be able to develop introspective capabilities. The secret is to build on your introspective capabilities. The secret is to build on your capabilities while remaining true to your essential nature. With individuation, you begin to realize patterns of your behavior and thoughts that exceed straightforward type definitions. You may find that your introversion exists differently in some contexts or your extroversion acquires specific features unlike other people. With such findings, you are freed from strict type definitions and self-realization. An introvert may find themselves leading a large project, and an extrovert may discover the worth of being alone during a personal retreat. Each time, you gain another layer to your knowledge of who you are outside of type categories. Dream work, journaling, and meditation can speed up the process of individuation. These practices assist you in tapping your unconscious mind and bringing its knowledge into your aware knowing. Listen to repeating themes in dreams or repeating patterns of your waking life. They tend to hold the secrets of parts of yourself wanting to be expressed or integrated. Relationships are important in individuation. Through dealings with others, particularly those who are unlike us, we gain more knowledge about ourselves. These relationships push us out of our assumptions and encourage us to create new points of view. They also offer mirrors that show us both our strengths and areas for development. Individuation is not becoming perfect or entirely balanced. Rather, it's about becoming more whole you, accepting both your strengths and your limitations. This may involve accepting that you will always require more time alone than others, or that you feed on social contact. The aim is integration, not transformation. As you continue on your path of individuation, you'll find that personality type is increasingly a helpful point of reference, rather than a defining feature. You'll be more at ease shifting between various modes of being, according to what each situation requires. This adaptability doesn't equate to sacrificing your authentic self. Instead, it's a fuller expression of who you are. The individuation process goes on throughout life, providing infinite chances for growth and self-discovery. Every step gets you closer to living your true self without the limitations of societal expectations or strict type classifications. This path leads to deeper personal satisfaction and more authentic connections with others as you become more able to express yourself more fully and authentically in the world.